Last of the late afternoon games, the Dolphins are at the Cardinals. This line opened up Cardinals -4, and now it's 5. But for some reason, this game is off the board at Pinnacle and BetUS. I don't know why, but yeah, so I haven't heard anything. So who do you like here?
Guess that Myles Gaskin injury is a big deal for them. That's the only thing I can think of as to why it would be off the board, but I doubt that would do it. So I like the Dolphins here for a couple units. People are sleeping on the Dolphins right now, big time. Their defense is a lot better than anyone realizes. I had the realization earlier this week that they are the best scoring defense in the NFL. I think they allow like 18.6 points per game, which was stunning when I first saw it. But the more you think about it, they have an excellent secondary, and they can really keep pace with any receiving core out there. And we just saw them limit the Rams to 17 points despite their solid receivers, because they were able to rattle Jared Goff and force him into some mistakes. Now, it's going to be harder to rattle Kyler Murray, but if they can contain DeAndre Hopkins and make Murray have to look elsewhere, we've seen him have a couple of multi-turnover games this year, Kyler Murray. So I think it is possible for Miami to get in his head a little bit and force him into some mistakes. The big question here is, how are the Dolphins going to look on offense? They barely did anything into his first start. I think that his debut was more about just getting him on the field, because the last time he played in a competitive NFL game was the game where he broke his hip really badly. Or that was a college game rather, but competitive football game is what I meant there. I think you saw a little bit of what he could do on the touchdown to Devontae Parker, where, he zipped it in quickly and got it to Parker while he was falling to the ground. I think that Tua is going to get better as the season goes along. He's going to play a defense that isn't as strong as the Rams defense here. So I think that'll help him a little bit. Maybe it hurts him a bit that Myles Gaskin is out. I know I was joking about that earlier, but we're relying on Matt Breida and Jordan Howard. Howard is averaging under 1 yard per carry on 18 attempts, which is impressive. Yet somehow he still has 3 touchdowns. It's one of the weirdest stat lines I've ever seen. And then, Breida is explosive, but he's constantly hurt. So we'll see if the running game can get going. But if they can, and they can just supplement Tua and let Tua make some plays, I think they'll be okay. I think their defense keeps them in it. I think this is a close game. So I think Miami will cover, and hopefully Tua will get better and kind of get the first game jitters out and be able to unleash the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, Tua has to be better in this game, right? I mean, he's not going to be playing against Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. And I know Ramsey got injured during that game, but still, he was still on the field for in the first half. This Arizona team is not nearly as good. I mean, Chandler Jones is out. Devon Kennard might miss this game because of the virus, and Zach Allen is out with an injury. So you have to wonder, like, who's going to rush the quarterback except for Marcus Golden, who they got from the Giants. Given that Tua had issues with the pass rush last week's game, like he had that early sack. He's not going to see nearly as much pressure this week, so that's going to help him like a ton. And Devontae Parker and Preston Williams should, not having Myles Gaskin will hurt a little bit. But I still like Matt Breida, and plus they traded for a running back, so maybe that'll help too. I think it's too many points. Like I feel like this is probably going to be a field goal game. I'm pretty high on the Dolphins as well. I've been very high on them for a long time. I think like dating back to when they after they kept the close game against the Bills, and then like I feel like they're 4-3, but the 3 losses were against the Bills, the Seahawks, and then the Patriots when Cam Newton was healthy. So like, and they dominated the opposition. Like otherwise, like they blew out the 49ers, they blew out the Rams, they blew out the Jets. Not that that's impressive or anything, but like still, like they've done very well in other games. And I just don't think the Cardinals should be favored by more than a field goal against a very solid team that's extremely well coached. I'm a big fan of Brian Flores. I can't wait to see what happens when he has more talent to work with. I think this is gonna be a field goal game either way. So whoever wins, we get it if we take the Dolphins plus 4.5. So I'm going to take the Dolphins.
Yeah, and I have to give you credit. You were on the Dolphins before I was. Like, I had the eye-opening moment. Like, we were both on them last week pretty big. I think we played them in all our Super Contest entries. But their defense is just so underrated, and I think you're dead right. Brian Flores is a star coach at this point with what he's been able to do with Miami the past 2 years. The fact that they have a winning record right now, and the fact that they were able to win last week despite changing quarterbacks, I'm still impressed by that, even though Tua didn't play that well. It just speaks to the fact that he knows how to prepare a team. So I'm excited to see where he takes the Dolphins. I think they're going to be very good as long as he's in charge.
Yeah, the Dolphins were intentionally trying to lose last year, and yet they still went 5-11 because Brian Flores is that good. It's unbelievable. Like, yeah, they got slaughtered in some of the early games, but after their bye, they kept almost all their games close, and they pulled off 5 upsets. It was just unreal how good of a coach he is. So yeah, like I said, I can't wait to see what happens with him once he gets more talent. And they have more talent coming because they have so many draft picks. They might have a top 3 pick depending on what the Texans do because they have Houston's pick coming up. So they could get Penei Sewell, Jamar Chase, Gregory Rousseau, like one of those guys. So like this Dolphins team is going to be awesome this year.